how do you take your donut shop?
Check. Okay, there we go. We're good. It's a weird. Okay, we're gonna start there. We're gonna start there.
Donut
Okay.
shop without the word donut in it. Dunkin' Iced. What's that?
It's
like a rapper.
Here we are at the most anticipated interview of every Baltimore Comic-Con. Chris Miskiewicz, Ringo Award-winning author, actor, famed stand-in for Hugh Jackman, which now after having made a movie, our understanding of the importance of the stand-in is so deep. Shout out to Dylan and Jonathan. We love you both. Did amazing work with us.
Heard about you guys.
But we're gonna start with, we want to check in. It's been a couple years. We want to check in, but let's talk about this Dunkin' thing, because I think you always have a great sense of marketing and the way things should be. I think portrayed business sense. What's the deal with Dunkin' being Dunkin'?
Well, I don't ever go here anymore. I just like kind of stronger coffee. But when I was in high school, I was dating Laura Rogan, who lived all the way at the end of the 7 line past Shea Stadium, and I still call Citi Field Shea Stadium because that's what it's called. And
I kind of agree. It sounds like a bank machine now.
That guy. There's a whole story about Mr. Shea and why they did that, but that's a tangent. Anyway, we'd walk, we'd taken her home, hanging out, 16 years old, whatever the hell, on the trains, and we would always stop at the Dunkin' Donuts that was there, because we were freezing. This was February, and whatever, New York, it was super cold, and in the mirror, well, they had their Dunkin' Donuts as the wallpaper, but in the mirror, it said Stanodnik Nud. And so for all of high school and college, my only friend, Mark Saliga, those years, and I would go Stanodnik Nud. And, we got to go to Stanodnik Nud.
That's how they should have rebranded.
So I agree. Now, that way when they went back and regressed to wallpaper, you would see Dunkin' Donuts in the mirrors. But I don't think Nick Nud, right?
Nick Nud.
If you say Stanodnik Nud, at least it has a sort of
Nick Nud, yeah.
strokey aspect of something going wrong with your diaphragm.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. I will, of course, take all endorsements from the new Nick Nud company for free coffees after this.
My kids really find it ridiculous. They are, why is it called just Dunkin'?
Oh, so they agree.
Yeah, they think it's nuts. Like, they'll call it Dunkin' because this has only happened in their short lifetime, but they noticed it and it annoys them.
Because if you take the donuts out of it, like, what's the context
when you
here?
go
Like,
away
you don't know
from
what
the
you're
thing
getting.
that made you what you are, just look at how many times this happens and companies...
They lose their way.
You
like
lose
democracy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now we're connecting dots.
Very, very,
Yeah.
very, very heavy. And I'm so focused on this Dunkin' Donuts thing. Oh, it looks like we're getting a caller.
Oh.
We were going to open it up to calls.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we
Well,
should.
you do have a...
First call?
Let's take the first call. Just put it up against the mic. We'll hear it.
Hello, Sean? That's Sean Von Gorman
Oh,
of
Sean.
Comics, who actually is one of my collaborators on something new I'm doing.
And one of the stars of day one of Baltimore Comic-Con.
Did
for
you
Friday
get
Night
him
Book.
on here as well?
We did.
Oh, he gives good.
He's a talker.
Yeah, he's got the goods.
Well,
and he gives
Sean's
them.
calling in.
Sean, are you? I'm over at Friday Night Movie doing.
Hey guys, long time listener, first time caller. I really have a lot. I do agree with you guys about the Dunkin' Donuts thing.
There you go.
We're live.
In my opinion, it's just that, what they call donuts, I don't consider donuts.
Hot take.
Oh, hot take. Well,
This is
maybe
a hot
we need
take.
Sean. Like maybe Sean.
I mean, are you willing
where are you
to-
around? Are you anywhere at the con? We're over in. Here, I'm gonna stand up and. Do you see me? I mean, Comic Cons are small. There, we're come on. There we
I
go.
think-
Wow.
there he is.
Hey, guest star, everybody.
Wow.
Everybody.
Sean
Coming
Von
to
Gorman
defend
of
his
Comics.
John Von
His
Gorman,
position.
returning champion.
How's it going,
Also,
buddy?
maybe the greatest pose in the history of our Comic-Con pictures. That is our. You should know that is our
think it's
hero
very,
image
very
for all
clear.
of our Baltimore Comic-Con stuff online right now.
Oh, great.
Our-
It's
you
the
doing
new
that.
banner on the social medias.
Yeah.
You very clearly have style.
That's funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent prints on your shirts.
Thank you. So I'm very heated on this topic. I have a lot to say
Wait,
about
but where
this.
are you from regionally? Because I feel like that does affect donut opinions.
I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
So a very big Dunkin' town. Chris and I were in San Diego the other day, and the Airbnb that we were staying at that eventually burned down was 1 block away from the only Dunkin' Donuts in California.
What?
I was giddy.
There's
I was
only
like,
one in California?
How
Only
hot
one.
is that?
There used to be zero.
Hot by
It was a thing that like it would never made it to the West
What
Coast.
donuts do we have in California?
Well, I'll say this. Well, there's Randy's Donuts.
that
Yep, great
With the-
spot.
yeah, Randy's with the giant donut. That's
but
Randy.
that's one in LA. I'm talking like.
And I will say there is a place in
Now
Berkeley.
think about it in Berkeley. Where
Well,
where did we have donuts?
So when I visited you, you were birthing children, so you were kind of out of it. But a few blocks from your house,
True story.
there's a
Being humble.
yeah.
there's a frumpy organic. They make the frosting out of mushroom caps or something. There's that place. They were pretty good.
I don't
They're
think
great
that's
donuts, man.
A few
Turkey
blocks
donuts.
a few blocks
He's like, why are
over.
these so good?
A few blocks over, there's just a place called Happy Donuts, and it's just minimal decoration at all. It looks like a warehouse spot, and it's just trays and trays and trays stacked
Yeah.
up of donuts
Donuts
coming
is
out of the
really
oven. And these are the kind that stop your arteries and melt in your mouth.
we like
And that is actually the Happy Donuts in Berkeley, which I don't have much nice to say about Berkeley.
I think
It's the
you
best
are
donut I've
illustrating
ever
my
had.
point perfectly.
Okay.
No one is waking up in the morning and going, "Oh, I'm gonna go get some donuts from Dunkin'."
Right.
Nick Nudd. I'm gonna go get some donuts from Nick Nudd.
I'm sorry. I probably.
You missed maybe that part of the show. That's Chris's rebranding.
So I will say yes. The coffee. I probably drink Dunkin' coffee almost every day, at least once a day.
Nick Nudd.
But very rarely am I going, "Yeah, I'm gonna get a donut from those guys." There's Donut Pub. There's Peter Pan Donuts. There's lots of places that specialize in just the donuts. And I'll go, if I want a donut, I will go to that place.
But having
very-
roots and connections in Philly, Federal Donuts.
Federal
If I'm
Donuts
gonna eat
is
a
the
donut, I'm
best
gonna have
hot
Yes.
is the best hot fresh
Solid spot.
cider
Yeah.
style donut you're ever gonna get in your life. But I'm
And
gonna,
fried chicken.
and fried chicken. They're so smart, those guys.
Put those together.
And
Wait.
and I will say, because I eat a lot of stuff like this all over the world, the best damn jelly donut on the planet, as advertised on the sign outside the bakery.
Yep.
So you have thrown the gauntlet.
Sure.
People are driving down in Long Beach Island, New Jersey,
I'll be the judge of
by
that.
the beach. Says best damn jelly donut on the planet at Ferrara's Bakery, and I swear to God, I have never had a jelly donut that touches this. And the reason why, though, to come back to your original point,
Yes.
the base donut, right, the actual yeast donut, which I realize now after years of eating donuts, I'm a yeast donut guy. A cake donut is fine,
Fair.
but I'm a yeast donut guy. But the base yeast donut, not to mention the jelly, but the base yeast donut there is so good. It melts in your mouth, pours down your throat.
Yeah,
My
This is why
we're
you're
talking
here.
like your
Have
go-to
these
like Krispy Kreme
information.
type of thing of like we're making them hot and fresh. We got the red light on. They're melting in your mouth. It's delightful.
So
we're not
do you
getting
like
that
Krispy
what I'm
Kreme?
doing. I definitely if I'm traveling outside the city, we in New York we very recently have a proper Krispy Kreme in Times Square where they're making them fresh.
I saw that.
The only thing we used to have was a sketchy one in Penn Station where if I was coming to this show, that would be my stop.
exactly what you're talking about.
We've actually bought those and brought them to meetings in New York.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that's the only place you can get them.
Yeah.
What
at the
was what's the Tom Cruise cake we were talking about?
The coconut, the kid's
There's a
coconut cake.
The
Yeah,
Tom
yeah,
Cruise
yeah,
coconut
yeah.
cake. Yeah.
What's
The
that?
famous Tom Cruise, the one that he sends in a private plane around the world to all of his favorite
we
people.
were talking about this the other week. There's a
This is it's like this.
There-
It's
It's his love language
Yeah,
of like if you're a celebrate, like congratulations, or he wants to do his nice thing that he does for people.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
He sends this coconut cake.
Yeah.
I do. You know what? Maybe. So, I don't know him personally, so we're just gonna put the personal shenanigans aside.
Sure.
I have admired when I've heard people talk about him or him talk about his like role in a movie and his like cheerleading of the people and all of that. I have admired that and the way he's talked about. Again, that might be contractually, I don't know, but that's the kind of weird thing I would do.
What?
Like if I have your address,
Yeah,
like I might
be
ask for your
careful.
address because I'm like, oh, I'm putting you on the holiday card list, which I am. But then one day I might see something online that's like the perfect gift for you, and boom, it's at your
Or
house.
he just wants to troll you.
Cake.
Yeah, it's true. I literally sent Icelandic troll sculptures to my best friend and his wife after we went to Iceland because I was like, what the fuck? We just spent a week in Iceland and I haven't seen one goddamn troll.
I just love the idea that like the real life action hero of our era who isn't like fitter than fuck at 65 or whatever his age is just sending out like a diabetes cake to everybody that are his best friends. Like
He's
"Have
got-
some sugar.
Also, coconut though is not a flavor I like.
True.
But is this
it's
like
a
that
coconut
good?
cake or something, right?
that's
I
what
think
you
it's
said,
what it
right?
is.
I'm asking this as if all of us have had this.
Well,
thing.
It's
my
apparently the greatest cake in the world.
this is a conversation we're having with my colleague Joyce Vizito, for a friend of the show. He was on
yeah,
Joyce
2 days ago, and it's so great to be back. I mean, so much has happened to me in the past couple of days. I have so much to tell you about my past couple of days. Like we went to Phillips yesterday. We'll get to
Phillips,
that.
I actually maybe we should. I don't know if it'll make us sound like garbage elites, but I really would love to just talk about Phillips for
Is
a
that the
minute.
seafood
Oh, sure.
place?
The one
Yes.
that's just multiple
I was
levels.
genuinely worried when we didn't hear back from you Friday night. I was like, what if he went into anaphylactic
what
shock? Like
happened?
I had like a moment
I-
I'm sure we'll see him tomorrow. But until I saw you, I was very nervous.
I remember Phillips as like a
went into
golden
waitress
corral, like
Okay.
just buffets and stations. It wasn't like that when you went there.
No, it's never been like that in my experience. It's
Okay.
always been like, laid back. So there's the Rusty Scrubber and Phillips. Rusty Scrubber being like the higher end option. And
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm very
that's
new
what
to
the,
this.
That's what
Sure.
the guy who
Hold on.
the bulb
restaurant
boy at
with
our
the word rusty in it is
Yeah.
the nicer of the two options.
surprisingly,
Scrubber.
and they have a
scrubber.
and they have a special valet.
rusty sphincter. Got it.
They have a shuttle bus that will bring you to there because it's a far walk. You gotta go all around the other end of the bay just to get to it. It's kind of in a remote location, but that's like the fine dining option of the two,
Okay.
of like white tablecloths and dress codes.
Okay.
Rusty.
But it's like
But
like
wait,
rusty
Phillips didn't
scrubber.
have like
When I imagine
spindly
things in
crab
a
legs that
kitchen,
you can just grab and put on your
preparing
plate.
I've
my
never
food,
seen
a
that.
rusty
Maybe it's the
scrubber
Phillips in
is
Washington,
not
D.C.
one
that
of
is
them.
like
Someone
that.
like
Maybe.
scrubbing
But, you know,
barnacles off the
like-
bottom of a boat and putting it in a plate for me.
wants the good bowl of chowder.
I'm imagining.
But were they good on the allergen
chowder.
front with you?
Our waitress was
Challenging.
challenging. She was not a fan of Chris.
No.
She was not a fan of Joey.
No.
Joey, hold on a second.
We were having dinner with
Chris,
Joey.
Chris, I love him, but I could see
I can see it too.
because of his boisterous personality,
Yeah, for
maybe a fallout. But Joey's like
That was a surprise.
sweet little friendly man.
gentle.
I didn't get that either, but he also felt the vibe. She loved me.
Yeah.
Like best restaurant ever.
There was a moment when I
Like-
looked across at Joey after he had his moment.
Well, here's
And
what happened.
It was, if I may, when we locked eyes, and I was like, and he was like, and I'm like, the nice guy agrees. I'm right. See, I'm right. You know, the
Because
nice.
Joey is
He's nice.
If it was just
incredibly
your
sweet.
experience, we couldn't validate
Absolutely.
it. But if it's
Completely
Joey,
just- yeah, we could say Miskiewicz was being Miskiewicz.
So here's
Yeah.
how our meal began. Our waitress came, introduced herself. We're going over the drink menu because we need a cocktail. The cocktail options on there are all very,
sea shanty themed.
very, very
Fruity?
decadent.
Oh,
Decadent.
like a pina colada.
Yeah, like quote
Or,
unquote,
jalapeno-
a girly
jalapeno.
drink, if you'd say. Very fruity, alcoholic drinks. So Chris sees something he kind of likes, doesn't like some features of it, and asks if they could make something without that. And the waitress goes,
a pineapple jalapeno,
spicy
jalapeno pineapple mojito.
Well, I would like to say you can get a delicious spicy jalapeno margarita at the
And
bar at Baltimore Comic Con.
all weekend.
We've been
Really?
drinking all weekend. The
Really?
old fashioned, by the way, will knock
Hold
your
on.
socks off.
I'll be back.
The old
I'll be back.
fashioned will knock your
4,
socks off.
That'll be 4. And that was Sean von Gorman of comics.
Sean von Gorman. Well, he had a heart
illustrator
out. We know
of
he had a heart
the
out.
Pedestrian, other things.
Wait, but
Wait,
I
can
read
we-
this right away, by the way.
What'd you think?
First thing I
Terrible,
did-
great book except for the writing?
I like the pictures,
love
but I
that.
skipped all the words.
I love that line. though. I do that. Well, great book except for the writing.
I
Well,
have
it works in
question- I
comics
have
more
questions,
literally.
but I don't know if my questions are going to be spoilers.
Well, we'll get to it. We'll
Okay.
give it overall. We'll give it overall.
I'm extremely concerned for the leader character who's the mom and has the kids. I'm extremely concerned, and I want to know: are we gonna go back? Are we gonna do some flashbacks where we're gonna see how the rest of this timeline pans out? Because
Hopefully.
I believe. I don't want to do spoilers, but I believe we're going to get more from her because the way that I'm able, and her family, the way that I'm able to cope with the information that's in here is like, I need to know that her story's not done. Because if that's how her story ends, I'm going to be very upset.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
So
I'm gonna
immediately I'm like, I
go
want
make
to go
some
back.
edits
Can you
later in the
I
script.
have to assume her story's not over.
This is good. I like
Well,
Yeah.
okay, wait. So let's talk about it. The
Sorry, I
hidden,
should
hidden.
explain what it's
Wait, hold
about.
on.
Well,
Hidden in the hills. Hidden in the hills. Sorry.
Hidden in the hills.
well, I've been doing a few things the last couple
Yeah,
of years.
tell us
that
what
are
you've been working
bizarre.
on.
Can you explain it?
I can.
'Cause I don't know that I can.
All good. All right, this,
I haven't had a coffee yet.
This is something we printed 100 copies for Baltimore for, and it's called Hidden in the Hills. Sean von Gorman, who is right now ordering probably 4 mules, and
Oh my God,
running
can they also
back
get me
here.
a cappuccino?
You should
I mean,
put that
Orgy just
order
made
in,
a
right?
run for it.
We've had this for about a year. We put it together. It's YA-ish, but not. Sort of like, I keep saying, romancing the stone. If Romancing the Stone were injected with every season of Ancient Aliens, like,
Ah.
Yeah.
if
All right, you're
like
talking my love
I'm
language.
serious. If
I
that
love
movie
Ancient
just got like,
Aliens.
and here are all
A little-
18 seasons of the dude with weird hair.
a
Here you
little
go.
ancient, alien astronaut theory. Never heard anyone.
So they're not open.
Oh, okay.
We've-
it is like
we've moved on
10
to
in the
Hill.
morning.
At the
We've
time,
moved on.
at the time of recording, it's Sunday morning in Baltimore.
They have not opened
It's,
yet.
it's a dry county.
Anyway, so we put this together and we've been pitching it around. I also formed my BFF studio.
Down for Failure, which we were here, I feel like, in the
when it
earliest
happened,
inception
right?
of.
Yeah.
The first version
You had that
of it.
cool cop, the cool blue.
part of it as well. We found that challenging to pitch to other publishers due to honestly, it's hard to get a cop series done in current climates. Which
Okay.
I found, which Vincent and I were. You get it.
Well,
but,
we'll
you
have
know,
to see how the election goes.
that's
Oh.
crazy, but let's move on.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
let's
right,
just
yes.
do that. As for this, like it's interesting outside of just the licensing stuff I've been doing in music books. I've
Right, author of the Elvis biography, author of the Grateful Dead, the like multi-award-winning Grateful Dead biography, of
love
which
that.
I finally.
I love that.
You wouldn't give me the record, so I tracked it down at a record store.
They
I
didn't
mean,
send you there?
no, you had one. No, I bought it from you, the book,
Yeah.
and you had like one record, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Can I have the record?"
I didn't give it to you? I
You
only had
didn't
one record with me?
You had only one. It was just on display. It was like part of your display.
Just taking it.
So then I
like
years
20
later,
of
I'm in a
20 of
record
this.
store and I found it and I was like, "Yeah,
Fair enough.
got
It's a
it."
solid record.
Yeah.
That sounds like the Chris of that era.
Then I probably didn't have any.
No, it was only one left. They were all gone at that point. I wasn't going to take your last record. But anyways, so you've done the license stuff.
I've been doing that. Hopefully I have a large announcement to make soon. Things got delayed. I hate when you say that, but it would be a licensed situation
Cool.
that would crack the sky open. Dear God, I hope this works. Dear
That's
God,
awesome.
Just keep getting punched in the face with this deal as it moves on and on. And anyway, I'm doing something next year with Z2 Comics that hasn't been announced. Another rock book that I just threw scripts at them, and well, God help them.
That's
God help
awesome.
them trying to figure out what
So,
that was.
Without giving it away, so hopefully, okay, take out the ones that are in the works that you can't talk about. Who's a rock band you want to write the next graphic novel of?
Honestly, I have been kind of thinking and looking around. I did a bunch of research and decided not to on Bon Jovi, not knowing that they had that doc series coming out, right? So I started looking into it and I was like, 3 more weeks. Oh shit, it's out. And then once I watched that whole thing. You're like, well, that's it.
Was there much there other than him admitting that he's had affairs? In terms of what would make an interesting story, I like Bon Jovi.
Well, that wasn't even in the documentary.
All I wanted to do was the only thing I found. I mean, they've got stories, right? But I thought it was interesting to show not the polished version of that band. And the first story of them playing at the Garden is like a complete tragic apocalypse, where everything that could go wrong goes wrong for the 20 minutes that their 40-minute show becomes 20 or something like that. Sambora goes to play guitar, right, and done. Like nothing comes out.
Oh my!
And like I think John gives him the guitar or something like his, and this is all we got, and they just get through. And that's what I'd love to show the band that we don't know yet moving up into, and then they get there and they fucking blow. Like that would be a nice, like, because we all know that what happens next.
Right.
Living on a prayer.
But the Dead have that story too, right? They famous for blowing their big moments.
Their biggest moment ever is technically at that time should have been like the Woodstock show, and they just didn't want to be there. It's great, and they got off stage like,
Okay, all right.
Like,
So Bon Jovi. What about famously reclusive, difficult, like a Danzig, like a Glenn Danzig?
I would love to do something on
'Cause I'm sure he'd-
Smith, but I think Vault has that in the works.
Okay.
That guy just seems, there's just something interesting there.
That's a tragic story too.
Les Claypool, if you're listening, please reach out. I'd love to do the
Probably is.
but
Holy shit, that would be
Jesus,
amazing.
Please call me or text me.
Just the art
that'd be
alone
great.
of that.
And
incredible.
yeah, my inner high schooler would probably adore doing like something with the Smashing Pumpkins too.
Oh,
just
I just saw them open for Green Day.
Okay, how was
Yeah.
that?
They are, it's this weird combination of. So the way I describe it is, first of all, it's a joy to see them. I've never seen Jimmy Chamberlain play live.
Yeah,
and
like a dozen and a half.
It's
times,
amazing to see him live.
Yeah, man. When back in like the late '90s, and he was.
Yeah, he's
What so much?
he's kind of in the conversation with the great progressive rock drummers, and that's kind of an interesting thing. They seem to have someone in the band that was just hired to do witchcraft. Like that's her job. Like she just kind of comes. She's beautiful.
What is she?
I don't know. She sings once in a while, but like she's just sort of.
I have a friend, an old friend, Caitlin Foisey, who does a lot of their artwork now. So, who's also.
You should ask about
well,
the
she's
witchcraft.
also does tarot, and she's also a witch. So
not to cut you guys off. I have a hard out.
Do you have a hard
panel. A panel I gotta get you and then sign in.
Say hi to Julie for us.
It's so great to see you guys again.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for returning.
We're so honored.
It's a pleasure to be your banner now.
Is there anything you want to say to make all the publishers that we're dangling this in front of run?
Well, I mean, I'm blowing up right now.
He doesn't even know if he has time.
And I don't think I have time. I mean, it's on the schedule for sure. I'm moving some things around, but come Christmas, my rates are going up.
Yeah.
So this is time to get in, people.
I'm saying yes to everything, and everything's going to be due at the same day. I don't know. I need an assistant. But anyway, I'll see you next year, guys.
It was really nice to meet you.
We're doing.
That's the next banner right there.
I'm telling you, man, Dean Haspiel. Wow.
I love it, man.
There he was, Dean Haspiel. Emmy winner, Dean Haspiel was just right there. Would you like to be also now?
This is the Chris Miskiewicz show.
We're doing the Chris
Welcome.
Miskiewicz variety show. Everyone's over there. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, no.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Charlie McElvey, creator Spider Squirrel Trash Panda, amongst other things. So I don't know. What else you want to tell me?
We've decided to just grab people, I think, in this particular podcast.
This is
This
his talk show
podcast
now.
has gotten interesting.
Are we
here.
supposed to do Dean impressions?
We talked.
No, I was just
talked about
doing a
Dunkin'
burn.
Donuts. So we've done Dunkin' Donuts.
Stenonic nut.
That was your thing.
We're supposed to talk
Sean's
about.
thing.
Sean's.
Can you tell me
Yeah.
what we're supposed to talk about?
Yeah.
What are we supposed to talk
well,
about?
our podcast is typically we'll talk about pop culture,
Movies,
and
television.
movies. We're siblings.
We're
Oh.
siblings.
Yeah.
This is great. You're halfway
I thought
through
you were
the
married. You
episode.
look so much alike.
Oh my
God.
god.
I'm just messing with
We
you.
were at a. This is a story we've told many times.
This one's just.
We're at
This
South by
like-
Southwest. We take the show to South by Southwest. We're at South by
This
Southwest at
thing
a
on
party,
AIM, it's like a.
and
Yeah.
we're at a party, chatting with some cool movie folks in Soho House, right? Just to like make us look cool, right?
Oh yeah, we're very.
We
cool.
were not. We were very tangentially invited. We were friends of people that were like, "We're all going to Soho House." We're like, "Great, okay." Dude with the beard comes up to us and says, "Yo, you know those people that start to look like they're dogs? You guys are a couple that's starting to look alike." And we're like, "That's really gross, man.
That's really gross.
We're siblings. We
That's-
genetically look alike."
But the-
But because we
but it's
travel
we
and work
travel,
together,
we travel together. We have the same last name. We'll be like checking into a hotel.
And everybody
They'll be
like-
assumes.
We'll
one
be like-
room? No.
We're like two separate rooms. We are siblings.
Yeah, the random people that we have to tell this to. Yesterday, this very nice British family saw us walking with our mystery box, and they were like, "Oh, did you open your mystery box?"
That's actually exactly how they said it.
Also,
That was-
and then you could hear
that
them
was the
whispering to their
accent.
children, being like, "Americans marry their relatives. Don't do that."
It's freaking-
They didn't say
I
that, but that's what they
Yeah.
were thinking.
I think
That was
it's
the
very
inner
nice.
and you're like, I'm not from Arkansas, dude. But
Yeah.
I think it's very nice that you're
I
both
defended everybody
starting,
in Arkansas.
starting to resemble each other now. I think
We
that's lovely.
resemble each other the least.
The least.
If you
Here
had
we
Lily
are.
here, she's like, remember the Michael Jackson
bridge.
black or white video?
Yeah.
With the
She's the
morphing?
bridge
Uh-huh.
between it.
Yeah,
Lily's
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
Lily's
The
the
blend.
middle morph
She's the
between the,
middle
two
morph.
of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like that. The dude before the redhead
Yeah,
becomes
yeah.
the dreadlocked guy.
Yeah.
She's the,
The
in
middle
between
morph.
phase.
She's your transition.
My
Yeah.
half brothers and sisters and I all have my father's that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting when everybody at the table does this at the same time. It's like you expect like
It's even weirder when they're all wearing their burqas. It's
laser
like
beam focused to sort of just kind of. It's really that's all. We just all seem to
Uh-huh.
have
When it's
The
just the
Miskiewicz
eyes,
wink-
it's just
squint.
the eyes sticking
it's a
out.
We were-
confusing squint.
We were pitching Chris on his next licensed rock and roll biographies, like which ones he
What would you
write.
like to? What rock band do you want me to write here, Charlie? Before
my
you.
wife's wearing a Def Leppard shirt. I don't know. That's too easy,
You got
though,
some
right?
drama in
Yeah.
there, but not a lot of beyond the accident.
it's
Oh no, the
interpersonal
other guy
drama.
died. The
Yeah.
guitar player died too.
No, it's not it.
See, who would I don't know.
Well, you're
So
a
you did
big-
Elvis.
Well, you're a big John Tesh fan, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
Like,
you write
yeah,
the
yeah.
history of entertainment.
Why don't you just go to K-pop or something instead? You know, like
K-pop? There's
Oh,
probably a lot of
that's
money
a
in
pivot,
K-pop.
but
That probably
you could
exists
definitely
already.
sell some
Better
copies.
voices than mine for that. we need a nice aging Gen X rocker for me. That all.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay,
I saw
cool.
Evan
Ah,
Dando.
shoot, that's a good question.
Evan Dando. That
I
would be.
saw the Lemonheads play about 2 weeks ago in New York for the Shame About Ray 30th or something like that, which is weird. And he looked rough.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I would have
and
expected
I-
him not to have aged well.
Not that I think he had some hard. It was such a no fucks given show.
I
He
think
actually did a whistle solo at one point in a
No.
song. It was.
did
He
you
was
see
like
this-
doing the thing, and he started going like doing the whistle, and I
think-
I was in awe
I think
of the
these-
chutzpah.
I think
A whistle.
I think these album tours.
right? Yeah.
I think these album tours, especially for the like Gen X rockers who were so, I don't want to say ideological, but like stuck in their ways about doing things, not commercially. They can go one of two ways. Saw Green Day. That's where I saw Smashing Pumpkins. To bring it back to Smashing Pumpkins. Green Day do Dookie and American Idiot back to back.
Sure.
It's one of the most amazing rock shows I've ever seen.
Sure.
And they're committed to it, and they're grateful to the
Oh,
audience.
Billy Joe's gonna be Billy Joe no matter what you do, right? So it's like,
It was amazing.
just who he is.
But I could easily see guys being like, this is how I'm going to have to make my money now. I'm going to have to just promise people I'm going to play my album.
you saw what happened with Perry Farrell last week, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
That
dude,
was wild.
I was like, I mean, I knew Jane's Addiction was kind of effed up, but because I mean, I listened
Did
to
you
their
see this,
music,
Becky?
you know.
That was great.
Clearly not.
This was all
This is
over.
great.
Oh my
Great.
goodness.
All over the.
Instagram,
Everything.
Twitter.
I have a very
Thank you
different
for saying Twitter.
algorithm.
You're
Yeah,
on
Becky's
Twitter.
algorithm has a lot of green juice.
This is
Yeah.
bigger
Yeah.
than dropping the donut.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Not over
What
here.
was
They
what-
were literally throwing blows, like they, because like you get up and you're like singing at each other and stuff like
like
that.
on stage?
on
Yeah.
stage.
David
They
dude.
were
Navarro.
punching
David,
each
yeah.
other in the face.
And they're like, oh my god.
Dave-
And
Perry Feller.
Perry just
Dave
went.
just like
I was
and
impressed
his
with Navarro.
wife- Perry's wife didn't make it any better with her apology afterwards. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, Perry lost his shit, and I was like,
crying
oh.
back. I read that crying back. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
So here's some important. It seems, by the way, everybody has a Perry Farrell story. Like people I know, just like you met, like you send this around. Everyone's like, I once ran into Perry.
Yeah, we
when
all have
I
one.
lived in Israel from '98 to '99, Perry Farrell apparently lived there too, and was DJing
Oh.
in random clubs
Weird.
in Israel.
That's
yeah.
wild.
Perry Farrell was
That's wild.
in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv
So
apparently.
you're like, we have a adjacent.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're a very Jewish podcast, so bringing up Perry Farrell is.
Yofi.
But yeah, I love when Chris is dropping the.
Yeah, he got caught
That's
fighting, not caught stealing.
Yeah, there
So,
you go. There you go.
That's his next album, solo. got
uh,
caught fighting on stage.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Jane's Addiction. How about that one?
Yeah.
No,
That would
Not
be
for you?
too messy.
too messy.
Could you imagine trying to?
No.
Can you imagine whose story and I don't know. I don't know, man. I
Well, maybe you could do like 4 variant issues, one from
I'm trying to think, like,
each perspective. Yeah.
I'm good with what's lined up that we can't.
Okay. All right,
discuss,
okay.
But if
which
and
one's
when,
lined up first?
Well, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later what that is for. I did enjoy doing that work. I never thought that was something I would
That's
seek
where I first
doing.
met you, actually, the Elvis one.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked that I could do kind of that. It's really interesting. The research is intense. You guys know if you're researching anything with your film, locations, why, all of it,
Yeah.
you go into deep dives on all of it
Yeah.
so that you could, explain it.
You almost have to be
whomever.
obsessive. I mean, really,
Well, I
for
think,
a little bit.
well,
yeah.
I think we all are a little
I mean,
bit.
that's
Do
the nature,
comics
right?
Anyway, yeah.
Since we have you, do you want to talk about, by the way, anything you're obsessive over or working on,
I
or
don't know. I mean, not.
Charlie's great.
I don't know. I'm chill. I don't
Okay.
know.
He's got
All
his
right.
own,
I mean-
little, much like I'm doing with BFF. He's got his own comic line. He's
Yeah.
much like I'm about to run a Kickstarter on the Allsop IP I have with Thomas.
what, is
why
it
are we
launched
talking
yet?
about? It's another 2.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm
No,
like we went in on it.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, all
I'll
right.
tell you all
We-
that. This is
We
the
like to
Variety Hour
support.
podcast.
Yeah,
we're
this
gonna
is
talk
the
about
Chris
whatever.
Miskiewicz
Yeah.
show.
This is the-
I'll say like a lot of folks are doing a similar thing. It's like the era of studios, right?
Yeah.
Where whatever name you've been fucking around with in your head for whatever you're throwing out there, branding it, and kind of doing the LLC.
Yeah.
It's wild. Pretty much,
yeah,
right?
and I actually created an imprint this year because
Right.
I realized now because I did Yakuza, right?
Yep.
So I did American Yakuza,
Oh,
which is our first
oh!
mature
I
audience.
walked by your.
Yeah, yeah.
I walked by your thing. I almost. I'm very
you
interested.
Don't walk by my thing.
I'm in a
Nobody walks
Yakuza
by my
thing.
thing. Okay, I mean you just get to stop at my thing.
Well, I
That-
get
that's-
sometimes I get a little
Please
anxious
don't
talking
call
to
your
our-
wife
oh,
your thing.
No, no, but-
on-
So she's-
But I'm in a bit of a.
she's my thing.
I'm in a bit of a Yakuza
Yeah?
phase.
Did you watch
'cause
Tokyo Vice?
I'm watching Tokyo Vice.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now,
It sucks
so-
because it ends.
Wait, hold on a second. Does it end like I'm going to be very depressed because it ends after 2 seasons, right? Because they
Yeah,
canceled
yeah.
it.
They close it out.
They close it out.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
There's enough of a
'Cause it's
like
incredible.
it's enough of a sweater strand that if you pulled on it, you could actually get a full like untangle out of it.
Okay.
But there's enough closure that it's a full sweater still. You know what I mean?
American yet?
It's a good.
It's a
Tokyo
really
Vice,
shitty
you
analogy.
gotta
but
watch
there
it.
you go.
We should.
It's good.
Walk by
Because
his.
the lead actor sucks. Like the
I-
first
I
3
love
episodes.
Edelstein.
Oh, I hate him.
I mean, I didn't like Baby Driver, but I love him
Well,
in
that's
this.
probably why I didn't like him. But the first couple episodes, he was so like the juxtaposition was so harsh between him and the rest of the culture. It was ugly. Like I didn't enjoy that. It wasn't just a fish out of water. He just felt awkward. Like he just didn't know what he was supposed to say. But I stuck with it because I like the context. And then he got really good.
Yeah.
And then when he started,
When he's in there
actually-
with Ken Watanabe,
and that's the thing.
I think those were.
well, that's the only reason I started watching it was Ken.
I think I felt like more like a choice. That was like a character
I think so.
choice.
Well, that's
for
what I
the
was getting
first
at. Is I
3,
think
and
by the
then-
time I got into the end of the first season, I was like, no, I think that was a deliberate
Yeah, it was.
decision,
That's-
either
I-
from the director or from him. He was actually really good.
Yeah.
And I liked that show a lot, so I was bummed at the end.
well, I'm coming over to
We
buy
gotta
all your
go.
books.
yeah,
You should.
you
You should, at least
Tokyo
that one.
Vice informed a little bit of that fish out of water piece, not as
and
obvious.
and because I've been rabbit holing a little bit on this Yakuza stuff, I actually tracked down that there is this movie American Yakuza, which I haven't seen yet
Yeah.
with Viggo Mortensen. Is there any connection? Did you have to was there any rights issues?
Well, it was funny because when I got the domain name, I was like, oh, that's not taken. That's great, And then
From
and then I went and actually started typing it in just to make sure my DNS refreshed. I'm an IT nerd.
I feel like
Thank you.
Becky knows all about this for our website.
So I was
Yeah,
making sure the
I
DNS
helped
refreshed,
out.
and it took me to the movie, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" I didn't even know the movie existed until that. So,
Okay.
No, and by the way, that's just as bad, if not worse, than Outsiders, which is Jared Leto's American Yakuza movie, where he actually gets into the Yakuza and is like,
I worked for Alan Poole, who's the executive producer of Tokyo Vice. I stood in for him
"Oh, dude."
on a movie with. I was there for Alex O'Loughlin. He
I
was
know
on
that is.
Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
Not Hawaii Five-0. The other.
No.
Your court scene? No, that was
No. This is my
I can't look on my phone 'cause
when I
it's
wasn't
filming us.
doing the acting shit. I was doing all of the stand-in tech acting shit for
nice,
people,
okay.
and it was a J-Lo Alex O'Loughlin movie called The Backup Plan, and I stood in for like the 4 weeks they were just shooting all the.
I'm pretty
exteriors and
sure Mom has watched that many
Yeah,
times.
or your
my
wife,
parents,
or your wife.
no, but my
my-
parents love J Lo.
My point is, Alan,
Content.
who was directing and producing at the time, and really sweet dude. He was also the executive producer on 6 Feet Under,
Ooh.
which
Oh.
is what
Love that
really kind
show.
of made his name, and now he's getting into films and stuff. But like watching Tokyo Vice, like that's his show, right?
Yeah.
And there was a detail that guy would shoot for, but it was also a very bouncy comedy at the time, but you could see the same kind of detail in the show running aspects
really-
overall of that show. It's just interesting.
Yeah, and that
cool
show-
guy, smart guy, really smart dude.
It's a well-crafted show. I think the thing about the show that I loved as a movie or a show watcher was like it never felt methodical
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure it was, but like it just never really felt like.
Just doing my own camera work here. So.
Like you want this.
You're
bug in
saying
there? I don't know what
interesting
you're
stuff.
doing.
I want to
Yeah,
make sure.
well,
we
thank you. No, but seriously, it's like I'm not a movie buff. I don't know the technicalities and stuff. I just know what I like, right? And yeah, it was really good. It never felt like he was a white savior either, which is another thing I was kind of worried it was going to vacillate
Was
towards.
that's back to Tom Cruise with that samurai.
Oh, it's Samurai. Yeah, no.
But you know,
I feel
but
like the
Last
Tokyo
Samurai,
Vice character
if you really
makes.
look at Last Samurai.
what,
That's not a
Roman?
white savior movie either. He's just the narrative. Like he
Yeah.
just drives the movie along. Ken
Yeah.
Watanabe and Hiroyuki Sanada, those guys, they're the movie.
Sure.
That movie could happen without Tom Cruise. We wouldn't relate to it though because
And it wouldn't get funded.
You know what I get.
All right, ready? Cast the lead of American Yakuza. Go. Your book. Go.
Madsen, I forget his actual real name, but he's a wrestler at AEW.
There we
We
go.
actually talked. We're going to do a cosplay cover.
There we
Dude looks just like Xavier
There
Watanabe.
you go.
I know one thing about wrestling.
This is amazing because I'm a wrestling fan.
Oh yeah.
We have a
Like
lot.
AEW.
I love
We
it.
have-
Mikey Ruckus is
we
my
have-
friend of mine. So
Who
he's
is?
done Mikey Ruckus. He
Oh.
does all the intro music.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
And boom, that's Mikey.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Mikey
I-
did an EP for me.
So-
I'm not
for
sure
Yakuza.
what I can I
Really cool.
because
Actually,
it's public.
Well, hold on. We'll get to
Okay,
our
well,
reveal
what is
about. But
about wrestling.
we've been coming here a few years. I love wrestling. It's one of the things that has. That's a great.
What's up,
Oh,
man?
no,
Piece
that's
up there.
awesome, right? Yeah.
Hank McCoy, everybody.
So we got some friends here
And Rogue's
who
ass.
love wrestling, and it's just like a thing. So people come here, and we've been chatting about wrestling like all weekend. We don't really do it on the podcast because my sisters will murder me. But
check out.
Becky was just when we got
Sorry.
here this morning, she's like, I don't have my coffee, and you talked about wrestling all day yesterday. Like I don't get
And then I come
I-
along.
But this is
Still don't
amazing.
have
Not only
coffee
have you
and you're
dropped
trying
it
to talk
in,
about
you
wrestling.
dropped it in with AEW, and
But
of course,
there's one
the
AEW.
great MJF is in the
MJF,
movie that we
because
produced.
we are obsessed. I know nothing about wrestling, but I love this guy. And he's like
Nice,
the
okay.
only wrestler that I'll watch his matches. I'll follow him. And
Yeah.
we
I go to
love
see-
him. So
I go to-
and he's in our movie.
And,
and he's
Madsen,
in
do you know
our
Vincent Kings goes to like wrestling matches all the time in Brussels and stuff.
Oh
with
my
his-
God, that's
he's
awesome.
become a complete wrestling.
It's
goofball
having a
at the
renaissance,
last
and
couple-
what I
it's
was-
really- he's like,
It's
hi
having a.
Vin. Shout out to Vin Kings.
It's having a
comments.
renaissance, partially I think because of AEW, because it increased the competition and you know.
Oh yeah.
And WWE is kind of having this big thing. But anyways,
So I don't know
Comic-Con
who you're
like
thinking
wrestling.
from AEW should, be cast, but I'll tell you,
So
it's got to be.
come
MJF.
back. Who's your guy?
Who's your guy?
Oh, it's Madsen. I would
That's
do-
it. But
yeah,
wait,
Can't remember his first name. His wrestler name and his real name both are escaping me right now because I need more freaking caffeine. But
Okay. Which group is he in?
he's on a tag. I wish I had my damn phone with me. I have just Twitter. I know, right?
It's for you.
Is it one of the actual? Because they have a number of Japanese, fully Japanese.
He's done.
Or
So he was in Tokyo actually about 2 months ago with his family because he was there for wrestling. But he's down in Orlando. Shit, man, I can't believe I can't remember the dude's name.
Okay.
Such a moron. Anyway, tall black dude, dreads, muscular, athletic, funny.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
So
I just
got-
named like 6 guys, but you know,
Got
Okay.
that guy and that.
I'll figure it out.
I mean, I only know MJF, so I'm useless in this conversation.
I don't know a lot of the
I
folks'
love him.
real names, so I don't want to.
yeah. Oh, well, no, this is his wrestler name is Madsen.
Oh, then
something
I'm not
Madsen, and shit.
I've been off AEW a little bit lately, so.
Well, I haven't watched AEW in a couple of years, frankly, just because I don't have time to watch anything. Much
anyway,
of
so
anything at
that's your
all.
character.
That's my dude. I mean, like I can't think of anybody in Hollywood that like fits the way I would want him to fit. And somebody actually tagged him on one of my Yakuza posts. And he's like, "Yo, bro, this you?" And I was like, "Yes, that is him." And so then he and I started talking.
That's
so
amazing.
He's like, "I'll do a photo
I love
shoot.
that.
Let's go." You know, and it's like.
And wrestlers are performers, man.
So
They're
cool. And he's
they're-
like, I got the sword, I got the jacket. He's like, let's roll. I was like, bro.
Perhaps it's your role. Perhaps
they need
this-
another Jewish guy to go
perhaps-
undercover in the
perhaps
Yakuza.
you need-
Tell us about the actual story, because now I'd love to hear the.
Yeah,
like,
it's,
tell us what it's about.
I mean, you know, this short synopsis is like it's like Succession meets John Wick and Tokyo Vice, a little bit of that. But it's really it's a murder mystery set in Japan. It's a fish out of water story. It's
awesome is this?
You know, it's like and we try to take some twists and turns that you might see coming, and we'll actually reveal before the last issue who the murderer is, and it's still gonna mess with you because there's still a whole extra issue to go. Like, what's next, right? And the full
Have you finished
title
it?
is-
You haven't finished it yet.
well, I haven't finished publishing it, but it's written.
Oh, it's done.
And
So
I
if I-
actually got pages from issue 4.
Okay.
There's only 5 of the.
So I'm gonna buy it, and I'm not gonna like.
You're not gonna miss anything.
Okay. No,
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna get a cliffhanger. Like, I'm gonna get to
Oh,
the
you
end
get
of this.
cliffhangers everywhere. But no, I'm just kidding. No,
But I mean, I'll get to
we
the end of an
finish
arc.
It will.
Every act kind of finishes cleanly enough that you're like, okay. So it's like a TV show that if it got canceled, you'd be like, well, your mind will go like, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here. But it's enough that you go, okay, I got a story, you know. So I try to. There's a couple of young guys that are writing with me, Chris Moses and Anthony Stokes, and they're doing really well. And the craftsmanship of working with 3 guys is, by the way, a pain in my ass. Like, it's so different than working by yourself.
We are siblings that
So-
are a creative and business team, and
So
there's
you
3 of
understand.
us. And so Lily's not here, but we work in a trio all day,
I mean,
all
I-
night.
but I
we
wouldn't
do,
trade it.
but
I
am
love
also
it now.
a bully and
Like,
just
yeah.
force you guys to do what I want. So whatever.
Logistically, it's a pain in the ass, but it's really fun because they're informing me now. Like, and I hear their voices, and I have an editor, thank God, who kind of cleans so that the dialogue is consistent at least, you know. But yeah, it's a fun book. It's really good. I actually, because I didn't write the whole thing, I conceptualized and I gave the overarching meta and the meta narrative, and then I said, all right, have at it. And then I'm kind of like coming in and doing kind of the veteran, like filling in you kind of need to tell people who this guy is, you know, here and that. Other than that, these guys did a great job with dialogue. That we have haiku that begin and end each issue, and there's a theme there. Not just doing haiku for haiku's sake, but it's part of the character, his background. So it's really good. And I get to read the last issue, and I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Like, this is cool. It's my own book.
Oh.
How often do you do that? Unless you're just high as fuck when you write it, but
Often.
oh, so good question.
Pretty often. Pretty often.
Touche.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I think
I'm
you'll
really
enjoy it.
excited. I'm really excited to pick it up. We're gonna have to go.
We're gonna. That might be
It's
where
It's a
we're
little
going.
naughty too, but only by circumstance.
We're old enough, I think.
Oh, okay.
We're
I was just making sure.
We're pretty old. I don't know if we're as old.
She looks young enough to be your sister.
Yeah,
As old as me? No, no.
At least she doesn't look like my spouse.
Dean Haspiel is the only person older than me in comics.
Oh, you do have me beat. I forgot. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Yeah,
But Dean,
barely.
Dean,
we were in high
Dean
school together. which was
really,
scary.
really has us beat,
Yeah,
and he'll tell you about it.
he's even got Howard Chaykin beat.
He's got everything.
And
He's-
Walter.
Dean Haspiel.
Dean's the oldest guy in the
Created comics.
You just don't know it.
We just don't know.
It's true.
That is a great bishop.
Hey,
That
Harry,
is
how you
a
doing,
great
brother?
Bishop.
Talk to this troublemaker over
Yeah.
Which one are you talking
he got
about?
roped in.
Strangest one of these you guys have done.
Miskiewicz kind of like
Of what?
last
He's
episode.
just-
Is this just the strangest podcast you've
great.
done?
We wait for this every con. Is the Chris Miskiewicz episode?
Like, what just happened?
It's
What
the
is
best.
happening?
It's the
Yeah,
best
I
episode.
We've got,
of it.
we've
It's
got,
always the
we've
best
got Sean. We've got you. We've got,
I love it.
we've got Bishop now.
One of the great.
What's this?
Plug your cosplay.
That is my cosplay. I'm Bishop Cosplay.
Oh, Bishop cosplay. Bishop cosplay.
I run cosplay contests and the showcase. This year we also had a photography contest.
Yep.
We had a lot of good.
Oh
entries.
yeah, I heard about that. That's a
And you
great
run a
idea.
Facebook group too.
Yeah.
Because I know so many cosplayers that are also photographers, and the art of getting those pictures is as important as the
Yeah.
construction.
And everyone that we had into yesterday, surprisingly, were all cosplayers. One of them competed in the contest.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah. So if you all didn't make it this year, sign up next year.
That's awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, I have to go find food.
All right, do it.
I feel that.
All right.
See you, Harry.
See you later.
I love people's regular, Bishop cosplay. Later, Harry.
I know, right?
Later, Harry.
Mine is a good Bishop.
Yeah, he does good stuff.
That was a good Bishop.
That's his best. He's got some other. He had a Dr. Voodoo last year that was baller. I was like, yo.
Good character. Fun.
Or
character.
yeah, brother. Yeah,
Brother.
it's Brother Voodoo.
Doctor.
But I don't know.
Lord. I don't know.
Okay, Chris.
Voodoo.
Let's come back to movies and television before we get you out. What are you digging these days? Throw us either
What am I doing?
some new thing that you're into.
The thing I can't talk about.
No, not that you're doing. What are you digging? Like what
that
movies
is
and
real.
television?
What am I into?
Yeah, like what are you into? Like again, we watched The Boys from
OnlyFans.
Brazil last night. In general, I've been watching things between 1974 and 79 this year. That's just been my project. I don't know why, but that's been like the thing I've been doing, just catching up on the French Connection. But like maybe you're like Alien Romulus was my favorite thing.
It wasn't.
Okay, I didn't think it would be
Okay.
your favorite thing.
Saw it. I think there's a little redundancy happening in the franchise.
I think people are relieved
franchise?
that it was.
Alien.
I know.
Did
I
get
know.
your
I was being
point?
sarcastic. Like
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of redundancy everywhere.
Yeah.
I think people were relieved that the redundancy though was constructive.
I would have liked them to finish the Fassbender trilogy.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah.
That would have answered.
That's more
something.
interesting. That's more interesting to me anyway because it's weird.
I also like you got to see different versions of the. I think it was Michael, the Fassbender.
But
Michael
this one
character.
did well enough. I bet you they're going to loop back around to the Fassbender.
Well, it's just blowing it for people. That's the same goopy plot
Yeah.
that they're
Well,
just using.
but also
Yeah.
the thing that the Fassbender movies have that none of the movies other than the original 4 have is a human face that people care about. Like unfortunately, Rain, fine, you're Ripley Avatar, but not an interesting character.
Fassbender,
David was
great.
so interesting.
Yeah. Worked with him as well. Fassbender, like a
Good
million
dude.
years ago. We were in a bar scene. We were sitting next to him. I was standing in and doing background on the gig, and we both just kept telling like one-liner dad jokes in between shots.
You could have been in
Is
that
this from?
scene.
Is this?
That's my whole comic book. Is like,
It
well,
was
not the
just-
Aqua
it was
show,
just-
but Spider Force.
We had like an immense vault, the two of us, of just the worst one.
Wait, is that scene? Is that were you standing in? For, was that first class?
I was doing double duty on that, but it was never.
But was that
never-
first class? Is that?
It wasn't first
It wasn't
class.
first
No,
class because there's that scene in first
I
class.
can't remember the name of it. It was the film where he's banging somebody up against the glass of the Standard Hotel. It was a
Oh.
big sex film he
What
did
was that movie?
a million years ago.
Big
Um,
Fassbender sex film. I
yeah,
haven't seen.
I think that's the
can't
name of it, actually.
remember.
Fassbender
It was
sex.
Bang Bender. I think it was.
So is there something you liked, or that you like that you've seen recently?
Fassbender's ass.
Recently, this summer the Deadpool Wolverine film was just pretty cotton candy, easy enjoy. I don't think it was a movie as much as it was like
I
the
mean-
summation of like 30 movies or so. So it was a strange.
It was a
I-
good
I
pocket
would-
universe movie.
I
And of
wouldn't
course,
call it
you know,
like
my-
a plot-based film.
Sure.
Like, I still couldn't tell you what it was about or what happened, but it was fun, and I enjoyed it, and I loved.
That's what they call a
all the
popcorn
different-
flick,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
We
For
had a lot of fun.
my sick little like world of when I was working for Hugh Jackman on The Greatest Showman, where I was standing in
I
for
actually
him.
love that movie.
It's a great
my
film.
God.
Becky goes to
You'd
see
hit
it.
my house. My girls are obsessed
we
with
played
it.
the soundtrack, the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I used to do tech acting, I did that film and another for Hugh primarily. It was like 2 years kind of around that guy, and we had this one moment where they were doing a big top tent drone shot, and the drone, which had the camera rig on it, hit one of the
the trip,
it tripped one of the
wires,
the tent wires,
yeah.
and like the red went down.
Oh,
And I mean it blah, 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 pieces of the wing, the lens, and like it was a moment.
Holy crap.
300 background in the room, like it was like.
smokes.
So there was a bit of a delay before we got things going again. I think like Panavision had to come with the replacement
With,
of
like,
their
the-
camera, that kind of a day. And Hugh and I had this 45 minutes of where we're just hanging out together, and we both Logan had come out. We had broke for a couple of weeks so he could do press and come back to that, and he was like, "So you saw it?" And we went through Logan. I was like, I saw it twice. And we were talking about that. And at the end of it, he told me the alternate beginning and how he wanted to get like Liev Schreiber in it and just like all this stuff.
Which would have been great,
That
right?
was-
There was this-
I loved him as Sabretooth. That was
Great.
the
He was the Saber.
best
He was-
part
he was-
of Wolverine Origins is that relationship.
He
was
was like, I was every time he said something that wasn't in that film, I was like, and what he at the end of it, I was like, "So are you done? Are you really done, Hugh?" And he looked at me and goes, "Yeah, it's done. It's done." And he really at the time it was done. And I went, "Done?" And he went, and it was great because he then said what in a very early version without the MCU, plots tied in the multiverse, but a very early like draft of like that, two dudes in a car kind of like midnight
That's
run
scene.
story.
But-
And
oh my God.
he's told this story on a million talk shows since we wanted
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
this.
great
I
together.
had just seen
They are.
Deadpool.
Their
da, da, da.
dynamic is amazing, right?
It was just
Yeah.
a really wild
Cool,
little
dude.
beat when he had that. But what the beat of this is that while he's talking about all this, and Hugh is just like the kindest man you'll ever meet. I'm watching him talk to me about like Wolverine while he's dressed in the completely as Barnum with the coat on like the thing, and he's got the hat and stuff in there. And it was wild.
Gentlemen.
Vito,
Welcome to the Chris
welcome
Miskiewicz
to the
Show.
Chris
Welcome to
Miskiewicz
the
Variety
Miskiewicz
Podcast. We have Vito of comics.
Of no fame.
Over there.
There it is. So yeah.
Of comics,
Yeah.
yeah, we do a little.
There we
for
go.
Chris, we don't do a video for every episode, but for Chris, we know
For
we need.
some
There's
reason,
gonna be
it seems
excitement.
like the entire floor wants to punk this. So come on,
No, I was just coming to say.
grab
I'm going up to
anyone
the
else.
panel.
Go grab.
And,
Oh, yeah.
I think your wife wants to go to the museum with Whitney.
Oh. Well, we can
Well,
wrap
Why
up
is
soon,
this
and then I'm
on
going to
the
come buy your
podcast? I
comics.
know, it's just that he's sitting here, and doing the podcast. I was wanting to let
It's
you
your
know,
fault.
but there were things happening.
No, but there you'll get sales out of it. It'll
No,
be
I
great.
appreciate that.
I gotta go.
All right, brother. Enjoy.
Vito.
P.T. Barnum.
Stray.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The Stray.
That's not P.T. Barnum, though.
That's funny is that we started off with you setting up
Talking about all the stands.
a drop-in, but like the drop-in, and now it's
I know
just
it's
been.
cute.
Show
Look at
of
what you-
drop-ins,
it's
like-
a-
Oh my God!
created it.
Now everyone knows we planned Sean Von Gorman's little appearance. Oh no! Behind the veil. Hello,
The rest
wizard.
really
You were
were
saying Barnum,
sincere
you were
drop-ins. The rest
that
were
was it,
yeah.
accidental.
He was just literally at the end is just
That's
like
just so
it's
funny, though.
It's Wolverine dressed as Barnum talking about Wolverine
With
It
an
was
Aussie
just-
accent.
Yeah, and I love. He was Aussie that
Yeah,
day.
yeah, of
And
course.
2 minutes later, he's back to, "Hi everyone."
Don't.
Well-
you- No. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you
know.
know.
I know.
All right,
I know.
this has been the Chris Miskiewicz Hour.
Should we do some quick plugs?
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
plugs.
yeah,
all the plugs.
Chris Miskiewicz. There's 2 of me on all Instagrams and things. The other Chris also does astronomy videos. Follow him. He's a sweetheart. He is Chris Miskiewicz at Twitter, and I've got Chris Miskiewicz everywhere else. Gotcha, Chris. I have a Kickstarter coming out. in a couple for
Alsop?
everyone's favorite magician, Thomas Alsop. We got the rights back during the pandemic from Boom. Thank you, Boom.
Very cool.
And we're Pally and I are doing a really cool thing.
That's awesome.
There'll be they'll start announcing that stuff in the next couple. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna do the Kickstarter in January or at the end of this year.
You doing a pre-launch? Because I'll promote it for you. Let me know. Just make sure you tag me.
Look at this. This worked. All right.
That's two.
What else? I have a couple things I'm doing at BFF. Get ready. Once Sean Von Gorman can't do this anymore, and Vincent Kings and I are working on a follow-up. Not to This Is Where We Fall, but that being our book. But Vin and I are doing something together that we're both.
I love Vince.
We're really, I'm really excited about.
That's awesome.
This.
You guys work magic together.
Since our whole relationship is like a breaking down of roles, like hi, I'm 20 years old and you're 40 when I met you, and like the next thing it's his first fight, and like I love Vin.
Get him at all of his life.
Like the most rewarding experience in comics I never thought I'd run into. Like watching his growth from like just being this kid walking around to meeting everybody to the Ringo to the Eisner
and he's
to
one
Time
of the
Dog.
nicest freaking people ever.
He's a sweetheart.
He's so sweet.
Don't cry. We're being nice to you if you're watching. But Vin and I are doing. Last 2 years we've been like, what are we gonna do? And I'm very excited about that. We've come up with something really cool that isn't just. It's not. I don't want to say it's multimedia because that makes everyone think it's. But it's. There will be.
Well, you guys have done great stuff with music, with the Miskiewicz, right?
There's an aspect of this when the book drops. When we do this, we may be doing this ourselves. We may seek publishers. Most likely, I'm going to probably do it all through BFF. We'll see. But the secondary aspect of it after this is going to be really interesting. We're about to we're both co-writing it. We're co-scripting it. He's going to draw it, and then there's a second part to this when this comes out. That's probably going to make me go broke, but it's really interesting.
That's good. You got to spend money to lose money. That is the philosophy of this podcast.
And that's it. Other than that,
Awesome.
Other than that, I'm just continuing to grow my hairline.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And sir, American Yakuza, what else you got?
Yep, Charlie McElvey. And you can find me at Charlie McElvey pretty much anywhere except for Instagram because they boned me up, so you got to do Charlie.McElvey, but whatever, right?
They boned
Dude,
you up.
Totally boned me.
They boned.
Fucking meta. Anyway. I've got American Yakuza. We're doing the first volume is going to be 5 issues. Issue 2 is going to print this week. Issue 3 is already in pre-launch. Issue 4 is almost done, so we're pacing right along. We'll release probably once every 6 weeks. We'll have a new issue out there-ish, depending on the delivery schedule. But I also have Spider Squirrel and my Blind Squirrel imprint that I do more of the traditional superhero stuff. A lot of fun with Spider Squirrels. It's a book of dad jokes. I mean, it's really just, it takes nothing seriously at all.
Getting paid to sleep would be my dream job.
That would be amazing. So you want that job?
Getting paid to sleep would be my dream job. He
I
said dad jokes.
get it.
I
Okay,
immediately went with
All right,
dad.
sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'm delayed there. All right.
No.
Wow.
We all need caffeine.
That's a
obviously.
great
Christmas
dad
cabbage.
joke.
I missed it.
Oh,
Becky looks like she's going to pass out. We got to get her a coffee.
That is the best
And my wife is
joke I've
asking
ever
me to go to
told.
the museum. So.
All right. Take care. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chris.